Hey, it's the Not Too Late Show. Welcome everybody, back with your host Carolyn Racine, the house band, Gabby Sandoval. Special guest this week, comic artist Yehudi Mercado. Written, of course, by Carolyn and Frankie. Now please give it up for your host, Carolyn!
Hi! There you go. Welcome to the Not Too Late Show, the late night show I created to give my friends a space to play kazoo.
Space kazoo.
She's playing a space kazoo. On Wednesday, Donald Trump reportedly showed up to work at noon, giving Mike Pence more time for his morning unpeaceful meditation. While working in an organized effort to influence U.S. politics, Russian woman Maria Butina formed close relationships with top Republicans, and she even took a Trump aide to a Styx concert, which is especially devastating news for the band Styx, who until then were under the impression 30-year-old women went to their concerts with no ulterior motive. Multiple bomb threats demanding Bitcoin funds were reported all over the country this week. Authorities later said the threats were a hoax because getting rich off Bitcoin is a hoax. This is my favorite story because I'm Catholic. Raised. Two nuns admitted to embezzling $50,000 from a Catholic school in Torrance, California, to fund their trips to Las Vegas. Parents got suspicious when the nuns ended prayers with, "In the name of Siegfried and Roy and Celine Dion, amen." Chris Christie told Donald Trump to take him out of consideration for White House Chief of Staff, although after a meeting, Donald Trump never offered him the job. You might laugh at Chris Christie, but I find this totally relatable, as you can see by my series of tweets to SNL. The first one says,
Really though, this is my dream. Hire me!
The second one,
I can write long on funny sketches. Hire me!
I can. The last one says,
After much thought and consideration and sobriety, now is not the time for me to undertake this serious assignment.
So, basically Chris Christie and I are cut from the same cloth. And lastly, Steve Bannon is set to be the keynote speaker at a sex robot convention. The speech will cover how to program your sex robot to be into necrophilia, racism, and his favorite, necro-racism.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Hey, mama.
Play us out, Gabby.
Oh my god, geez. I didn't practice anything for the English one.
That's okay.
I'm terrible at improvising
That's
music.
okay. Let's just keep the politics going. This week, Sarah Sanders mentioned that she hopes she will be remembered as being transparent and honest, which is obviously not how she'll be remembered. So here at the Not Too Late Show, we have Remembering Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So, first, she'll be remembered as an ageless woman. She's so old, she ran out of numbers. Wikipedia says she's 36,
What?
but that is, as she would say, fake news.
Yeah.
There's no way she's 36. She'll be remembered for dedication, right? Nobody who professionally lies all the time and gets considered a total asshole for it would keep up the job unless they were utterly dedicated to the task at hand. So she's dedicated. She'll be remembered for her outer beauty. And I mean that. Because you can take makeup tips from people you disdain. I say that as a woman who owns a Kylie lip kit. Just one. Just one lip kit.
Did those work good?
They work.
They do work good.
Exhibit A.
And lastly, I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be remembered as the daughter of Mike Huckabee.
Ooh.
And specifically will be remembered for the grumpiest dance at the Dottie Daughter dance. Can you imagine? And that's remembering Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We'll never forget. It's great to have you back, Frankie.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm sure they all miss me.
I think my mom missed you. My mom thinks you're funny. But we're wrapping up the year.
Yeah, I know.
So, I love this time of year though. Because I really like reflecting on 2018, the year prior. I like setting goals for the next year. I really do. So I was hoping that you would help me with my vision board.
Yes.
Did
I also
you-
made one. Yes.
You made a vision board too.
Yes, of my visions from 2019.
Okay, so a vision board is where you just put little goals and you visualize what you hope your life to be like.
Oh, see, I submerged myself in a cave pool and communed with the Norns and received visions of the future, much like the deleted scene of Thor doing so.
You know, I'm not surprised by any of this, but
I think it'll still work. I've still got stuff, but
oh, you put a photo on it just
Uh-huh.
like me.
yeah, sort of a dystopian skyline.
Okay. My photo is just Mary Tyler Moore,
All right, throw in the hat.
because that's my vision in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Oh, you printed them out just like me.
I certainly did.
So my first vision. Okay, in 2019, I'm going to quit my day job.
Oh, great.
Hopefully. Hopefully, or just work less at my day job. What's
Well,
yours, Frankie?
I'm also going to have some significant changes to employment.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I
Okay.
will be paid in barter, much like all workers. 2019, I'll work 14 hours a day, answering customer service calls. Most of them will just be abused, but I'll get paid in Best Buy gift cards, which are great for everything except therapy or healthcare.
That's your vision for 2019.
That was the vision I had of 2019.
Okay, well, in 2019, I hope to vacation to Europe.
Ooh!
It sounds silly, but I've never been to Europe.
Oh.
Yeah, and I feel like if I imagine it, it'll happen.
Well, I think that's great. I too would love to go to Europe.
Yeah, we should go to Europe together.
Oh, yeah, but in 2019, movement to and from the country is restricted for most Americans unless you're incredibly wealthy. There's not enough Best Buy gift cards to make my way down to the Grosseto. But you should go.
I hope I can.
Me too.
Alright, well, in 2019, I hope to move into a bigger apartment.
Oh.
Maybe I don't sleep right next to where I film a late night show. But honestly, again, I really think it's gonna happen.
I hope it does for you. In fact, me and Nick, our place is going to have extensive remodeling in 2019.
That's amazing. Can I move in?
Maybe if you know the passcode, because we have to fortify it against raider attacks. So, it'll be a little different.
It's supposed to be like an optimistic exercise.
Well, that's not the vision I was shown. I'm sorry. Take it up with the Norns. For all two of you who know what that's are.
I am not one of those two.
They're like the three fates.
I'm just trying to have a good 2019.
Well,
And I think I'm going to get there because I'm just going to eat more vegetables. Honestly, I'm a health conscious person,
yeah.
but again, I'm so busy. I just need pasta
It's
and
tough.
pasta and pasta.
Mm.
So I'm going to eat more veggies.
Oh. Well, you like this one. I'm going to take up organic gardening.
Oh my god, can I have some of your vegetables?
You certainly can, assuming you have some Best Buy gift cards. But it's because the whole food chain is going to collapse. Your stores won't be able to stock the shelves anymore. Most farms will be depleted, so be a little more self-sustainable in 2019. That's a positive thing, right?
I don't think this is making us better friends.
Well,
But lastly, you can't kill my optimism because in 2019, I'm gonna finally exercise more.
yeah, I had the same one. I'm going to exercise more too.
That's great.
Yeah.
I guess no matter what happens, we need to be stronger.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Powerful limbs make for powerful homes.
And that's the Not Too Late Show vision boards
2019.
for 2019.
Sorry and good luck. We're just gonna.
I told you pre-pro that my floor is a trash can. Normally at this point in the show, we have a word from our sponsor, but not this week. We have a little more of a PSA. Because although I don't use it, I do currently have a gym membership. I won't specify which gym, but it is in the LA area, and
Is it fitness based?
it's fitness based, and I swear to God, the towels are too small. You know, I want to choose in the locker room when I show my Midwestern charm. If I'm wrapped in a towel and I drop my socks, everyone's getting charmed. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of reasons why you should have bigger towels. So I want the Not Too Late Show fans to, at any gym you belong to, maybe Gold's Gym,
Maybe.
maybe we could like employ ourselves like the Taylor Swift fans.
Oh.
They harass people all the time and get a lot of work done, I think. So I want to start the hashtag, it's not too late to make your towels bigger. At Equinox, at LA Fitness, at, what's the other one, the cheap one?
The one in my apartment.
Planet Fitness. And then, or, what's that one say? Make your towels
Big enough to
big
hide
enough
my.
to hide my Midwestern charm. I'm going to be tweeting this from all my social media accounts. And I hope you join me in that. Because really, they could also be fluffier, but I'm not. They honest to God need to be like 4 times bigger. And that's our PSA for the week.
All right. Normally I wouldn't read these mid-show, but Anastasia wants to know when you're going to Europe. 2019.
April. I'll never get to Europe, you guys. I got myself to California.
Yeah. And LA eventually.
And LA eventually. I'm super excited to have our guest on.
Yes.
Let's welcome Yehudi Mercado.
Hello.
Yay!
Come on.
Come on. Can I start off? Cheers.
Cheer! Wow. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me have you.
Yeah. This is tremendous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I share my my first and favorite memory of you?
Oh, sure. Uh-oh.
Because we met at in a UCB writing class.
Shout out to Eric Scott, LA.
Eric Scott, honestly, great teacher, great writer, funny guy. So
He loves trains and amusement parks.
was that it?
Yeah.
And so- he was like, if you write a train-based sketch,
All you had to do was write a train-based sketch.
I'm gonna really
Yeah.
dig it.
Yeah.
But on the first day of class, you brought supplies so everyone could make themselves a name tag,
I did that?
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
and then we would set out our name tags, and I think some people were like, "Is he the teacher?" But I honestly thought that was really endearing,
Oh, thanks.
because it seemed like you wanted to know people's names, or you
Well,
wanted people.
because of the first class I was in, no one knew each other's names
Yeah.
through all 10 weeks. So I was like,
Oh.
all right,
Yeah, and they
201, I'm going
and then it
to
comes
remedy this.
to reading people's sketches, and they're just like,
Yeah.
you.
Red. Yeah.
Well, you are both a comic book artist
Mhm.
and a storyboarder.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get into?
Ooh,
How long have you been doing this professionally?
Uh, graphic novels and comic books I started 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. Yeah.
You started in Texas.
Yeah. So I wrote a screenplay for this one, Buffalo Speedway. I wrote it as a screenplay first, and then entered it into a bunch of contests, and it won the final draft big break contest.
Oh, just
Yeah.
as a screenplay.
Just as a screenplay.
For a regular film movie.
One of those regular films.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
help
yeah.
me with the lingo
Right.
here.
So we call them regular films here in Hollywood. You know.
But it wasn't supposed to be animated film.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So then nothing ever happened with it. So then I decided, I want to turn this into something.
Mm-hmm.
So I could always draw. I was working in video games back then. So I decided, well, let me just try to turn this into a graphic novel.
And that was your first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so great.
Yeah. It's a comedy about pizza delivery drivers. That's why it takes.
I love
It's set in a
this.
pizza box. Buffalo Speedway.
You made these boxes.
I did. Yeah.
I love that. And then, so how did you make your way from Texas to LA, Austin to LA?
From then, so my day job was with Disney Interactive.
Okay,
I was an
didn't know
art
they were in
director.
Austin.
They had a studio in Austin. So they bought, you remember Playdom? Playdom did Facebook games, like those casual games. Way back when, remember? Like,
What's an
those-
example of a casual?
well, they would always rip each other off. Like, remember the
Farmville.
Zynga, like the Farmville
Okay,
Zynga?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they were all the same. Like
Okay.
Mafia Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible games. Yeah. Like Mafia Wars, like it was like basically all the fun of refreshing like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people played it, but like, yeah. So Disney bought that studio, and then I got a job at that studio, and then they closed that studio down, but kept me. So I was like, oh, if I can work remotely anywhere, and they're like, yeah, sure. So then I moved myself to the Glendale studio,
Oh.
still with that full-time job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I got to work on the Guardians of the Galaxy mobile game.
Oh, actually,
Did you play it?
recently applied for a job at that office.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't call me.
Your day job's like a real job.
Yeah.
Your day job's a real
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm,
Good.
I'm always happy when I meet people whose day jobs are vaguely related to what they love.
Yeah. Yeah. When cause I also got to co-write the game,
Nice.
so that was also like a little inroads into writing and drawing
Yeah,
professionally.
and so that's how you got, Frankie wanted me to ask you how you got into storyboarding professionally. Frankie, answer your question.
Well, in the video games, like I would always storyboard all the like sort of cutscenes and stuff, and then I ran my own small animation studio in Austin for a while.
Oh.
It was called Horseback Salad.
Horseback
Yeah.
salad. And that
Yeah.
was your name.
It was my name. Well, it was based on so the Marx Brothers wrote a screenplay Salvador Dali wrote a screenplay for the Marx Brothers.
What?
What?
Yeah, called Giraffes on Horseback Salad. And my freshman year of college, I got so into the Marx Brothers.
Oh, I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
if you're into Dali.
Oh, and I love Dali
'Cause-
too, but more like through Marx Brothers.
Okay. There's a Salvador Dali museum in Monterey.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Is it?
No Marx Brothers, but
Then I
Dali was
hate it.
very
Yeah.
into like selling his work, and he did a lot of like advertisements, and
Yeah. Well,
he was paid a lot, and so that's why some of the surrealists didn't like him.
he was like a
Because they like
sellout.
a sellout, and he was like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm getting
I
money.
own things other than my paint
He's got to
box."
afford the mustache wax,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that stuff's expensive.
So
Yeah, so
That's
I
amazing.
did like
Who's that?
animation in Austin for a while. We worked on like music videos and commercials and educational straight to DVD animated series.
it seems
Yeah.
like if you can animate, there's so many different.
Well,
right? Like there's
there
so many
are, but
different-
now because I do 2D animation and now everything's all 3D, so I feel
Oh.
like I'm like old man, can't keep up with these young kids in their CGI.
Well, like Spider-Verse has a lot of 2D in it.
Yeah, that's all like yeah.
It
That,
seems like maybe
yeah.
there might be some resurgence.
Yeah, if they, I mean, I would definitely, my dream is to then, like, run my own animated series and do all the upfront, like, sort of story and storyboards.
Would you do
Yeah.
that in two? Are you so?
So you
as
could
a
do that,
person that
yeah.
knows almost nothing,
You didn't know how
Are
to flip
you-
a PDF.
I don't know how to flip a PDF.
People write in, tell her how to.
Let me know. Honestly, this could be a dialogue.
It's a two-way street, this talk show, right?
Are you committed to 2D animation, or do you want to
I,
ever make the change to
Well, 'cause I
3D?
I write, and I like coming up with the ideas, so I want to be on the upfront, like concept design and like the writing of the project,
Yeah.
not actually like the execution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Sci-Fu?
Yeah, let's talk about Sci-Fu.
It is the
It's all the rage.
hip hop, karate,
Hip hop, sci-fi, kung fu.
kung fu.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where do you get your ideas for stories? Are they based off your real life?
This one, yeah. So
Same other-
like growing up in the '80s and listening to hip hop, like this is because it's set in the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of was like the nugget of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to do like a story about like a robot planet that sort of like runs on music and is like all the buildings are kind of like equalizers and like all the roads are kind of like vinyl. All the
Yeah.
like the vehicles are like the needle heads of like turntables. Like so I always like had that sort of world like, in mind. And I played with different versions of Sci-Fu, but then when I started to do graphic novels and my style is very cartoony,
Mm-hmm.
I started to do stuff more for middle graders and kids. So then I was like, oh, let me just make Sci-Fu into like a middle grade like action book.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
So this is great for kids.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
6 and up.
6 and up.
Yeah,
I love it. I haven't read it yet, but I love the artwork. I think because it visualizes music
yeah,
in a lot of ways.
yeah. Like all the
It's so
action
beautiful.
automatopoeias are like graffiti.
Yeah. And well, I also know you as a person are very political.
Yes.
It's a compliment.
Yes.
Are your story? Do you ever? Do you keep this separate from like a political narrative?
Yeah, I kind of keep it separate. I mean, most of, growing up, I'm a Mexican Jew, grew up in Houston, so I always felt kind of like an outsider anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like everything I have is sort of like that, from that outsider's perspective anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I'm like political also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do much like, it's for kids though. I'm not gonna like have fuck Trump every other page.
You could bleep
I
it.
could bleep it, yeah.
You know.
But I do like, one of the through lines through all my books is like, because most of my books, like every character is like on the other side of the law, like they're sort of like always punished or like the one sort of like, being looked down by the authorities in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because like growing up, the way I did, I was always in trouble for like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, so I felt like I was always like getting in trouble just for like having a weird name. And, like I was always thought of as suspicious for some reason.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So I always bring that perspective, but yeah, I don't do anything overtly political. I was
Except
like
on your
during,
Instagram.
yeah, Instagram. I do for a while. I was doing a lot of those little political like
Yeah.
illustrations of Trump. But you know what? What broke me was I went to there's a convention called Politicon.
Oh, yeah, you
Did you
live
went
on?
to
I
it?
went in Pasadena. This was last year.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, great, here we go, Politicon, like California, it's gonna be nice and fun. I heard like last year, like the only debates were like between Bernie Bros and Hillary Clinton. So I was like, all right, sounds good. And then, so I printed out a bunch of my illustrations. You know, it's all fuck Trump and Trump is a racist, all that stuff. So they sat me right next to the Republican Party of California.
Oh.
Yeah. So
You think they were trying to start?
I don't think
or
they
was it,
knew.
like,
They just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like it's always just a lottery. Like,
Yeah. Were you in
Yeah.
place?
So immediately, like the red hats were coming in and like just causing trouble. Like
Yeah.
just like giving me the evil eye and it was just so uncomfortable the whole time. And then a group of them come in and they come in with cameras strapped to their chest because what they do is they film themselves starting fights. So I had an image of Trump, drawn as Hitler, basically being like hoisted by the Pepe the Frogs, like the alt-right, And then they're like yelling at me. They're like, "Are you trying to say Hitler was a Nazi?"
Wait,
Yeah.
Someone,
Yeah.
okay, someone
And
said to you
yeah.
in question form,
Yes, shouting
are
at me.
you trying to say
Yeah.
Hitler was a Nazi?
Yes. And that immediately was like, I'm like a snarky asshole, so like, they couldn't really get a rise out of me, so they're just getting jokes from me, and that was just getting them angrier.
Yeah.
So they were trying to
So you
get
were
me to
giving them
throw a
what they
punch. Yeah,
wanted.
they were trying to throw a punch. Meanwhile, I'm like desperately dialing the organizer of Politicon
Yeah.
under the table, like, "Hey, 911, hey, I'm about to be jumped here." So yeah. So like all those guys were confronting me, but then they finally like were told to leave and get away. But I kept seeing like there's one called like Baked Alaska.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
That's a group?
So he's the guy, like total racist asshole. Like so I saw him and his like bodyguard guy, they were gonna like beat me up later. Like
Oh my god.
So I like packed up early
What is
and
the
left.
who organizes politics?
I know, yeah, it's such a bad idea. But so then a week later, after that, I saw those same guys that wanted to start a fight with me, they were all in Charlottesville during that whole like Unite the Right rally.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's so close
Yeah.
to the flame there.
Yeah. I could have been in Black Klansman, is what I'm trying to say. That's the real tragedy. Oh, dark
my-
humor.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to dive into some of your work finally, because I've known you for a while. Do you want...
Follow me on Instagram at Supermercado Comics.
Oh yeah, wait, can we
Yeah.
buy your comics locally, or is it all online?
Best to buy them from me. I mean, they're all on Amazon. If you
Oh,
wanna
no,
look
no,
them
no,
up,
no,
but,
no.
yeah.
I did not mean
Yeah.
Amazon.
But
You
Sci-Fu
can buy them
should
on
be
your
in the
website.
stores. But yeah, my website is supermercadostore.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you bring something to give away?
Oh yeah. So I got 3 copies of Sci-Fu to give away.
Okay.
So.
Okay, we're gonna give away
Yeah.
a sci-fi. Sci-Fu.
A Sci-Fi Sci-Fu.
So, if you are listening,
Yeah.
you want me to mail you a copy, you have 3. Punch in the funniest emoji.
Now.
No. Is it? What people are waving? Who's that?
No, I mean, there's just people who have joined. There are people on. Yeah, so if you guys want a free copy of Sci-Fu,
Free.
would normally cost what, 20, 25?
It's $12.99. $16.49 in Canada.
And
Yeah.
just put an emoji in the chat, and if you make Yehudi laugh, we will give it to you.
Tough crowd. And if it's Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I swear to God.
She does watch.
Yeah.
She tunes in.
Well, she likes the farm to table. She likes.
Yeah.
This is like the farm to table of talk shows.
It
Come on,
is
people, your
essentially
funniest
like the
emoji.
farm-
Ooh,
Ooh,
interesting
yeah.
choices.
We
Oh,
got 2 emojis.
There's the laughing while crying. Someone put a boxing glove, like a
Oh yeah,
Punch
Sci-Fu fighting.
yeah.
Well, we're giving away 2 books.
All right, let's do it.
Uh,
And then maybe for next guest, give away.
my next
Yeah.
guest. You're about
Yeah,
like
that's
keep
Yeah.
ready to plug, and my next
Yeah,
guest
yeah.
will be like, I have a book.
Yeah,
He knows something about marketing.
that's right. Hey.
You know what? Honestly, I could learn. I could learn a lot.
So, is that
Whoa, I want
in your
the
store as
hat.
well?
Yeah, it's just one of a kind. Sorry.
Oh.
And my shoes.
Wait, I also saw yours on your Instagram that a child made an entire
Yeah.
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Who's that kid? Do you
Kid
know
I met
him?
in Chicago at a convention called C2E2.
Had already read the
He
book.
had bought it, and then bought everything else, and then they messaged me like, "Hey, what else you got?"
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy with Sci-Fu. I'm getting like messages from librarians saying like, "Hey, these kids that don't read have read your book like 8 times." Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
it's
I'm gonna
scholastic.
keep it until my niece and nephew know how to
There
read.
you go. Learn them how to read.
They might learn in Tecumseh.
Yeah.
No, they won't. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching. And
Let me go back and check the comments, see if we missed anything other than Europe questions. Oh no. All right.
all right. Have a good night.
All right. Are you back next week?
No.
This is
Okay.
a Christmas show.
Honestly, well, I think we might be doing a non-denominational show on Christmas Day.
Oh.
Special.
Very
Holiday
cool.
special.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Happy
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.